All right, guys, hang on one second while I try to do the Facebook Live. You know, this is always a 50-50 shot. Whether it's not, it's going to work. While we're doing that, just a reminder, you're going to hear life in the background at my house. And that's going to be somebody cutting down trees and most likely my husky getting very vocal at times. Somebody asked me, because I started to say, oh, that's my husky. And they were like, your husband? I'm like, no, my husky. No, my husband does not make those sounds. All right. It looks like we're live. So we'll see how long it lasts this time. But we are recording, so that's always great. Hi, everybody. This is Jamie Grogan with Solutions for Solopreneurs. We are wrapping up our Journey to Entrepreneurship series. And I asked this last person, I reached out to her because she's part of the reason that this journey even started for me in the business world. So she probably doesn't even know that, but she is a huge reason why I decided to go ahead and kind of follow my heart versus following what I saw everybody else doing who was having success. So Galyn, can you introduce yourself, talk about your business, and then we'll kind of dive into the questions that I have.
Hey everyone, I'm Galyn Fergerson. I am a business strategist and I help entrepreneurs, specifically African-American women who are consultants or coaches, help them get clarity in their business so they can get laser focused on that one money-making idea that's going to take their business to the next level, to more sales and increased revenue.
Awesome. Thank you, Galyn. So throughout these interviews, I've learned something from every single lady that I've interviewed. It's been one of the best experiences of my life, learning about people's journeys and hearing about how they got to where they are now. Galyn, can you tell us how your journey started? Even if it's way back when you were 9, 10 years old.
It started about 12 years ago. I've been working in marketing for about 12 years, and it started in a 9-to-5 that I didn't expect it to happen. I've always been a creative person. I remember as a kid, we started doing leadership roles. You know, you had the 4-H club and Girl Scouts and student government and all these things. I always wanted to run for president. I like being in a leadership role, and I just love the creativity of what I call now positioning myself as the expert in student issues. And I love the whole marketing myself as the one person who can take my classmates to the next level in school. So back then I didn't know the terms positioning and marketing and branding, but that's what I was doing at a very young age. And as far back as I can remember, I think I did my very first live event as in middle school. So I've always had it in me to do live events, to do marketing, to help people, to lead people, create communities as far back as I can remember. But it wasn't until I realized that this could be a real thing, a professional thing, when I had my first official 9-to-5 as an adult working in the banking industry. I was actually a bank teller for a bank, and I thought I had to do customer service, like literally just cash checks and deposit money in accounts. And my manager said, okay, Galyn, you're not meeting your sales goals. You need to get at least 2 sales a week. And I'm like, sales goal? What are we selling? This is a bank.
We selling money?
Right. So she's like, you know, we have like checking accounts, money markets, and CDs and insurance and personal loans and all these things. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do that. Like, yeah, you're not doing it. You have to do this like fast or you're going to lose your job. So one of the things that I've always done at the bank when I was working there is we had like the product of the month, and I would be creative, just like when I was running for president and student government. I would try to come up with these ideas to kind of market the products and services, the product of the month, to our clients. And my manager would say, Galyn, you have like the best ideas. Where do you come up with this creativity, these ideas? And they work. But the only thing about it is, we would use them for a couple of while, for like a week or so, and then we would always get this message, this memo from corporate saying, okay, you got to use what we give you. You have to use what the marketing team says, what we use to promote. And so I was like, well, I need to be in that department. How do I get to the department where they come up with ideas? So
right.
my manager was like, well, that's the marketing department. And, I was like, well, how do I get there? And they were like, well, one of the qualifications is you have to have a college degree. And I did not have a college degree. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, what can I do to prove myself, to, validate myself that I can do this? And she was like, well, how about you try to get more sales, start there. And I said, well, I don't really know too much about sales. I can come up with these creative ideas, but how do I sell them? Please, I want to keep my job and I want to get ahead in my career with this company. And so I was allowed to learn like the basics of sales with the supervisors. I had the opportunity to go on a supervisor training and learn the basics of sales. And that literally set it off for me. And what I learned about the basics of sales in my 9-to-5 job 12 years ago, I still use today to get more clients and help my clients get more clients as well and get more sales. Just those basics of sales, of knowing that, you don't sell the actual product. You don't talk about the features. You talk about the benefit. Tell the story of why they need that product, not the actual product, but why they need it, how it's going to change their life. I learned that 12 years ago, working 9-to-5 as a bank teller, and I still use that today. And from learning that, I went from not just meeting my sales goals of 2 sales a week to averaging 10 sales a week to becoming the #1 salesperson in retail banking in my region with 2 states combined, Virginia and North Carolina. And with all of that, never did get to the marketing department. Being #1 in sales, I didn't get a promotion. I didn't get a raise. I didn't get to the department that I wanted to get to. They just basically just rewarded me with more sales goals and more work.
You probably got a pin or two along the way, and maybe.
But I kept going to like bank after bank after bank, thinking like, okay, if I go to this next bank, I tell them what I did at the other bank, all the achievements that I did, and like the next bank, because I learned so much about sales. The next bank, I think I reached my sales goal, 180% of my sales goal, like the first 90 days. Still wasn't enough. And I kept hitting this same wall as, you got to have a degree. You need a college degree. You want to work in the marketing department. You need a marketing degree. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, am I ever going to be able to utilize what I'm good at? Like what I'm like, right, my magic, without a college degree? And it just so happened that when I moved back from Virginia to Georgia, moved back home, and I got into the fashion industry, and I started working behind the scenes as like in fashion show production for fashion shows. And how I got back there, because I was trying to model, but being a plus size model was very, very hard. Even though these were designers who were making plus size clothes for models, they still would tell me, we don't have anything to fit you. We don't have anything for your body. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm still going to work. I like what I'm doing. How can I help backstage? And helping backstage, I met designers, I met fashion stylists, I met hairstylists, I met all kinds of people in the fashion industry, professionals, and they all wanted the same thing, just like the bank wanted, was like more clients, right, more sales. And I used those same basic sales skills, and I helped them get more clients. And the thing that I realized for them, all they cared about is that I helped them. I got them results. They didn't care that I didn't have a degree. They didn't care about that I didn't go to school for marketing. They didn't care. All they cared about was the result. And I realized, okay, this can be a thing for me. Like my 9-to-5 has tried to keep me in this box. It's been like this glass ceiling that I couldn't break through because I didn't have a degree. Now I found something that I can do without any validation, without any credential, without any certification. And that's kind of who I help today. I help Black women entrepreneurs who are consultants and coaches who feel like they can't get a certain place in their career or in their business because they feel like they need some kind of validation, credential, certification, license. They need to be a part of something. And you don't need that at all. You don't need that to have a business. You don't need that to get a sale. You don't need that to make six figures. You don't need any of that. All you need is your magic, like being creative in marketing and sales and knowing how to position myself as the one person who can get you what you need. That's all I needed to be successful. So that's kind of my story.
That's amazing, because one of the big reasons I'm doing this is because I want women and men, if they find something that resonates in one of the interviews with them, if they can see themselves in someone else, then they're going to be able to say, okay, I can do it.
Right.
I just need a plan. I need somebody to guide me and help me leapfrog over all of the mistakes that they've made and get to my success. Because one of the things that I struggle with, and still, I think all women still struggle with it, is, am I good enough? Exactly. You have those days, and you just have to put systems and processes in place so that you can still make money even on those days when you're not feeling like you can do it. Exactly. And having a support network of women around you that said, okay, remember that thing you did?
Yes.
Okay, so you got the magic. You're just having a bad day. You're just, other things may be happening, and that's okay. I don't resonate with those people that say you have to do 110% every single day. You have to get up at 4 a.m. You have to, I like my sleep. My bed is one of my favorite places in the whole world. Don't tell me I got to get up at 4 a.m. to be successful, because that's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for me. So I feel like there has to be more representation of the different nuances of people. Mm-hmm. Because not everybody is that, that scream in your face coaching that a lot of people see. I don't relate to that kind of coaching at all. I'm ready to fight. You yelling in my face, we might as well back up and just, just square up, because you don't need to come at me like that. I'm definitely not going to learn and be inspired by somebody like that. So I feel like there needs to be more representation of the different types of women and men out there that can be successful, because, all you see, and, I'm not slamming Tony Robbins. I'm not slamming, all the other people. I'm just saying that there are other people who can help you out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? One of the things that you said that really I want to make sure women hear it is the fact that you were told over and over and over again that you need this to be successful. You need this to get into the marketing department. You need this to be a model. And instead of being bitter about those no's, you turn those no's into, okay, I'll just do what I'm good at in this little space. But then eventually you outgrew that. And you said, okay, I need to figure out how I can shine without letting anybody tell me not to shine, and that I can't shine, and that I'm not good enough to shine. And I feel like a lot of women struggle with that, because they feel like, why can't you just look at what I've done? Why can't that be enough proof to show you that I can do what I'm asking you to let me do? But you don't need that validation, just like you said.
Yeah. Well, there were two things that helped me get past that. The first thing is just like where you said, like every day is not your best day. You don't feel like you have it in you. And that moment before I started helping people out backstage, I was trying to get on the stage and be a runway model. And when they told me that, I couldn't fit their clothes or I was too big, one thing I had to do between that point and to the point of helping backstage and helping those professionals get more sales and more clients, I had to do what I call a confidence reminder. And I still do that today. I have a little small notebook I write down things of my wins. When people have said, girl, you blessed my life. I had somebody say, girl, you snatched my wig. People tell me like, you're a godsend. I've been praying for someone like you for my business. I write those moments down when I've made a difference in people's lives. And right before I go on Facebook Live, right before I meet with a client, I open up that notebook and kind of remind myself like, okay, you do have magic. You are good at something. Like, you can do this. And I had to remind myself from the moment that those designers will say, we don't have anything for your body, we don't have anything to fit you, I would have to remind myself like, okay, I may not be good at this, but I'm good at something.
Right.
And at that moment I realized like, hey, I'm good at sales, I'm good at marketing. Let me help these people backstage, be on the stage that I can't get on. So that was the first thing, like having confidence reminders. And the second thing is, before I became a CEO, I had to have a CMO, and CMO is create my own opportunity. Like, I couldn't get on the stage, so by helping people backstage, I got enough experience to create my own stage and become a fashion producer myself. When I couldn't get on the stage, I ended up producing Atlanta's first ever plus size fashion week. I produced the first ever women's shopping event for Bloomingdale's in Atlanta. So I had to create my own opportunity before I became a CEO. I had to figure out what was unique and special about me. Instead of trying to belong to everyone else, instead of putting my head down when people told me no and rejected me, I think that's the validation that we're always looking for. We're trying to fit in with other people. There's a big group that I love. I'm a big fan of Russell Brunson. I love ClickFunnels. I'm all about sales funnels because I'm a marketer at heart.
Right.
But that environment are like a white male environment, and it's just really hard to fit in. So I had to create my own opportunity. There are African American women out there who have never heard of ClickFunnels, no idea what a sales funnel is. So I had to create my own opportunity and be there and say, hey, here's a vehicle that can get you from where you used to be to where you want to be. And it's called a sales funnel. And just introduce that to a whole new market. Instead of trying to get in and be the top Tony Robbins, the top Dean Graziosi, the top Brandon Burchard, instead of trying to be like them, I had to create my own opportunity. So before you become a CEO, remember, have a CMO, create your own opportunity. So those are the two things that helped me get past that rejection and not needing validation.
That's amazing. That is a huge tip. And I want everybody that's watching this, either live or on the replay, to remember what she's saying. You have to create your own opportunity. And that's part of your magic, is being honest with yourself about what you're good at. Get outside of your head. Don't listen to the voice in your head that's saying, well, you didn't do this, and this person told you no, and that person told you no, and you can't even lose weight, which is the little voice in my head that's always telling me, how can you help somebody when you can't even lose weight? That's one of the things that play in my head. But then I remember just what you're saying, to create your own opportunity. Something else though that really resonates with me is what you said about the reminders. And with my clients, when I talk to them, I say to them all the time, you need to leave truth bombs wherever you go. So if somebody blesses your life, if somebody touches you, you need to let them know. It is your responsibility as an entrepreneur, as an African-American woman, to lift others up and let them know what they've done for you in your life.
Right.
Because they need it just as much as you need to give it. They need it.
Right.
So, and that's part of the reason why I asked you to do this, why I wanted you to be the cap to this journey, because I wanted you to know how much you changed my life, because I thought I was helping you.
You did. You did.
And that was my focus. That was my focus, for me to say, this woman doesn't even see how amazing she is. And I need to let her know she needs to lift her head up, be proud of what she's been through, draw on that, and go out and help people and do what she thinks that she can't do. Right. But in helping you, I saw this beautiful blossom that I was part of the soil and part of the water that I helped make that happen. And so for me, that was that was like crack. I was like, okay, I'm hooked, because that's what I need to be. That's what I need to be doing, because now I realize that my magic is I'm a catalyst and I'm a spark. Yeah. Because I see in people what they don't necessarily see in themselves. So that's my truth bomb for you. Write that down in your book, because that was months ago that you and I first met. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, it's been something that I've gone back to, when things aren't going well. I'll watch one of your lives. We did the Facebook Live challenge, and I just thought to myself, man, that girl is the shit. I'm sorry. I apologize for anybody that gets offended by that word, but I was like, yeah, see, and that to me is what it's all about, is being able to, like Steve Jobs says, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back.
Right.
So going through situations and challenges and obstacles and hurdles, those are all part of the journey.
Yes.
But you got to surround yourself with people who are going to support you and who are going to give you those truth bombs, so that when you can't reach out, because you can't always, people want to say that they would reach out, but it's not always possible to put yourself out there and say, you know what, I'm not having a good day. But that journal, that's a really, really good idea.
Yeah.
Really good idea. So thank you, by the way.
I want to say thank you as well, because you sparked that in me. I'm no longer in my shell, and I discovered from creating my story. When you helped me create my story, I discovered that there's always a blessing in the rejection. Like when they were telling me, oh, we don't have anything to fit your body, you're too big for us or whatever, like just a couple years later from that, I end up becoming a fit model for Spanx, a $1 billion brand of intimate apparel. And so if you are a woman and you're curvy and you wear plus size, you're actually wearing off of my body. So a couple years ago, they were telling me, like, I can't be a runway model, I can't be in their designs, to actually being a fit model, a paid fit model for $1 billion brand. And one of the things I asked them when I got the opportunity, like, why me? Because I was so used to being rejected.
Right.
And they were like, I said, why me? And they said, well, you've done fashion shows. You work with people in the industry. Women listen to you. So we need that input. We don't just want your body. We want that input of what women want, what curvy women want for intimate apparel, for their bodies. We know that you're out there talking to them because you're doing shows for those women, for our customers. So there was a blessing in my rejection. If I just stuck with that the runway model, because being a runway model in Atlanta, you weren't getting paid. They were telling you you're doing this for exposure. So you weren't getting paid. So being rejected actually helped me get into a position where I was actually making money, more money than I thought I could ever make.
Right.
So it helped me discover that.
You're so welcome. And it goes both ways. And I know that I struggle with comparison a lot. But what I'm learning from listening to other people's stories, especially African American women who look like me is that there's room for everybody. My customers and your customers may not be the same. And even if they are, it's okay. Because I'm not in this to one up. I'm not in this, to edge somebody out of something or be better than the next person. I'm in this because together we rise. And I firmly believe that if we are all helping each other elevate, then that's what matters. That's all that matters, really, is that we all come up. And you and I have talked about, reaching those women who $2,000 extra a month would mean the world to.
Yes.
Me, the world. And I've said too many times that I remember how hard it was to get my teenagers to sit down at the table and actually have a conversation. But I remember stressing that and making that happen, making, sometimes 2 different meals because, teenagers, I don't want that tonight, so making two different meals just so that I could get everybody around the table. And I was physically there, but I was not present.
Right.
Because I was so worried about the light bill, worried about the dentist appointment, that we didn't have dental insurance. I was not physically able to connect with my kids.
Right.
And I don't want that for anybody. And if $2,000 a month, the difference that could have made in my life, to have that stream of income and release the pressure so that I could actually be present at that dinner. For me, that's my goal, is to elevate more women out of poverty.
Right. That's why I feel like business for Black women, because that's who I serve, Black women entrepreneurs. Business is more of a necessity for us. It's not necessarily an opportunity, something we want to do because we have extra time and our husband, they're at the office, we want to find something to do for ourselves. Like, it's a necessity for us. Most Black women, if they don't have multiple jobs, they have a job and a side hustle because it's a necessity. We're not making enough money. We're doing more work, but not necessarily getting more money. So having a business is what it takes to thrive, to get that extra $2,000 to $3,000. And my mission is to help Black women take their side hustle and let it be their main hustle, so they don't have to, because having an extra business, that's taking more time. You're already working a 9 to 5, and then you're trying to add another business on just to get more money. That's taking away more money, more time from your family, from your kids, being able to make those meals. Even if you're not present, you don't even have time to cook.
Right.
Laundry or do just spend time with your kids. So my mission is to help them go from their side hustle to their main hustle. And what I want them to discover is you can do that quickly and fast by just raising your prices. We have lower revenue as Black women. We average about $66,000 a year in revenue, whereas non-minority, non-Hispanic women, basically white women entrepreneurs, they average about $200,000 a year in revenue. So there's a big gap between what Black women make and what white women make in their business. But basically, we can't blame anyone but ourselves.
That's right.
Like, we don't have that validation. Sometimes just because we're Black, that's what we feel, just because we're Black, we have to have lower prices. We have to start at the game at a lower level than everyone else. Or because we don't have a degree, we can't charge as much. We don't have accreditation, credibility, or any certification. We can't charge as much as the next person. So it starts with us, how we feel about ourselves as women, as Black women, as women without degrees, women without a huge social media presence. We price our products and services based on how we see ourselves. And I remember you said earlier about, how you sometimes don't have a good day, you don't feel like you are enough. And the difference for me is, especially that point where I was rejected to being a model, to when I said I can help these people backstage, I had to focus on what those people needed. I had to focus on them and not me.
Exactly.
That's the difference in getting that confidence. That's the difference in not worrying about if you are enough, if you're good enough. If you focus on the people that you want to help, you don't have time to think about what you don't have, what you lack. Your focus should be on helping that next person get to where they want to be in life. And if you focus on that and you realize what it would do for them, what your product, your magic, that thing you're good at, how it would change their life, and they will tell you what it's worth to them. They will say, man, I would pay $10,000 just for you to help me do whatever. When you hear that, that's when you realize that you really have something that's premium, that we call in marketing high ticket.
Right.
You'll stop charging $27, $47, $97 just because you don't have just because you don't have 200,000 followers. You'll stop charging $97, even $200 or $300 for your products, when you realize that what you have, that magic you have, can actually change someone's life. You will raise your price. And if I can get more Black women entrepreneurs to realize it's not about you. Your price, whether or not somebody pays you, has nothing to do with your qualifications or your worth. It's all about the commitment they are to their dreams. Can they afford their dreams? Can they afford what they want in life? How bad do they want to be there for their family? How bad do they want to be present at the table with their teenagers? They're not just cooking and going through the motions. They're being in tune with them. How much is that worth to them? When you realize that's what the price value should be, you'll raise your prices immediately, and it won't have nothing to do with you, your worth, or your value. We focus on self-esteem money, like, am I good enough? Do I have it? Versus self-worth money, which is the worth of your client's dreams. So that's my goal, is to close that revenue gap from $66,000 that Black women make to the $200,000 that white women make, is to help Black women understand that yes, you are enough, but that's not what's important when you're in business. Is the client's dreams, the client's worth. That's what's important. So if you can focus on that, you won't think about your validation anymore. You won't think about if you're good enough anymore. So that's kind of my mission.
I told you she was the shit. That's all. I told you. So, something, it's funny because when that journal, I'm thinking to myself, do I have one of those? Because I need one of those. I need it by my bedside, like you said, because I think that is an excellent way to remind yourself through the voices of people that you've helped. Right. So that you can combat that, the inner voice that's not so great. And I love what you just said about, the concentrating on the customer and on the client. Because one of the things, I just had a meeting with a potential client, and, they were like, well, I've seen this online. All of this stuff that you're telling me is online. And I'm like, of course, everything is online.
Right.
Anything that you want to do, you could change a transmission by watching some YouTube videos.
Right.
But have you ever done it? Because if everything is online and you're still in the same position, then why haven't you done it? You know why? Because you haven't found the right person to hold you accountable. And that, for me, is the crux of why Black women especially have a hard time succeeding. Is because they're like, you're not telling me nothing I don't already know.
Yes.
I never said it was new information. I never said that I was going to, that there was going to be some lightning strike aha moment that's going to instantly change your life. It takes work.
Yeah.
It takes you pulling back the covers on the bed that you made and figure out how to change your life. And that's not always pleasant, but it's worth it. Mm-hmm. And that's what you were saying about concentrating on the client. Because when I look around, I want us as African-American entrepreneurs to be at the same level as those non-minorities.
Yes.
It has to happen because the way that the world is right now, hopefully people are seeing that we got to stop waiting for somebody in the White House
Mm-hmm.
to make it better, because they're not.
Yeah.
And that's proven. That's proven. So we need to do it ourselves, and we need to elevate each other, and we need to hold each other accountable and say, okay, you have the tools to help this person because of your background, or you have the tools to help somebody because of your background and because of all of the struggles and challenges that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do it.
Yeah. And there's a deeper level. Like, I don't want to offend anybody, so I just want to get your permission to go deep.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, there's with Black women, it's a badge of honor to say that we're strong, that
Yes.
we're independent. And that should not be a badge of honor. Like, I don't want to have to be strong. I want the man in my household to have the strength. The difference between, the Black woman and the white woman, especially in business, the Black woman wears the badge of honor of strength. The white woman wears power. The white women don't have to work as hard. They sit back and say, this is my magic and I'm going to stand in it. And I'm going to have a team to do this, that for me. My husband does this for me. I have people around to do this for me. All I have to do is sit back and do what I'm good at and get the money. Black women want to wear all the hats. They want to do everything. They want to have 15 arms, 15
Right.
all of the work. We want to take care of ourselves, take care of our kids, take care of our church, take care of our jobs, take care of our husband. I mean, we want to do it all to show how strong we are. But all that hard work doesn't get us rich. It doesn't give us more money. You need to know what your magic is. That's why we focus so much on your superpower and what you're good at. Because once you realize that and you realize what it can do for other people's lives, you will sit back and say, oh, that's all I got to do. This is all I got to do is tell you, what I'm good at and help you and charge a premium price, and my life would change. I will now have more money that I can think of, and I don't have to work as hard. Like, this is my power right here. Now I have power. Once you realize what your magic is, your superpower, you can stand in that power and realize that making money is really not hard work. But we're told to work hard to be
That's
independent.
right.
Strong, not depend on anybody, which is why we don't have mentors, which is why we don't invest in business coaches, because we try to do it on our own and we don't know what we don't know. We're stressed out because we're trying to handle everything. But that's the difference. Like, they understand their power. They understand their superpower, their magic. We don't. We downplay ours. We downplay our magic. We try to dim our light. We don't want to, make
Offend anybody.
Yes, we don't want to intimidate anyone.
Right.
We're that powerful, just being us. Like, it's so much power just being a Black woman. We want to downplay it for some reason, but that's that thing. Like, we think it's a badge of honor to have strength and be strong, and we should not have to be that. We should not have to wear the pants in the relationship of the household. I
That's
want to look
right.
cute in the dress and the skirt, and
Thank you.
wear my heels or my flats sometimes. But that's the difference. Like, stop trying to be so strong. Just be powerful. There's a
Right.
difference. You don't
Right.
have to be the strongest. You don't have to be independent. Have help. That's the difference with people who make six figures and the people who break through 1 million and more, is that they have a team.
Right.
Have that power. Like, this is my team. I'm in charge of a whole team that does all the hard work for me. They are
Right.
I don't have to do anything but just stand in my magic and do what I'm good at. So
Right.
that's what we have to understand, that it's not about being strong and independent. Have someone that you can help on. Get help. Get a business coach. Get a mentor so you can get there faster. Avoid all the pitfalls and the hurdles.
Exactly.
Faster and stand in your power, not in your strength.
Exactly. So to me, that was one of the big things that I struggle with, is control.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in control of everything. And I didn't realize that about myself till about probably 7-8 years ago, that I was such a control freak. If you had asked me that, I'd have been like, oh no, I'm not a control freak, but if I'm making homemade mac and cheese and somebody's helping me, they're not doing it right. Even if if I'm telling them exactly what to do and how to do it, they say, move, let me do it. Thank you for trying to help me, but go sit down. And when I realized that, I was like, okay. So just because they may not be doing it exactly the way that I'd like them to do it does not mean they're doing it incorrectly. And this happened to be Thanksgiving. So of course I've been up since 4 a.m. cooking, and my thought is, oh my gosh, I'll just do it because I can do it faster because I don't have to tell you what to do. But is that really the truth? That's not the truth. If there's 2 people in the kitchen, it's going to get done twice as fast.
Yes.
So you need people. You need to let go of that control. And you need to say to yourself, I am a good judge of character. So I know that this person can help me. Mm-hmm. And if something happens and it doesn't work out, it's just a lesson learned. Right. But don't look at it as you're weak and that you're taking help makes you weak.
Right, yes.
It doesn't. Because you have to think of it, and this is something that one of the interviewees, and I can't remember who it was, said that she looks at people who are able to help her as steps. And if you stack those steps, mm-hmm. then you keep going up, right, versus staying on this step for 2 years because you're figuring out how to be a Facebook marketing guru, and then staying on this step for 2 years. And that's what I realized that I've been doing for the last 12 years is I've been thinking I got to study this because I have to be good at this, and I have to study this because I have to be good at this, and 12 years later, I'm still working a 9 to 5, and I would say I'm actually worse off before I started the business than I was 12 years ago, because I have all this knowledge, but if you don't use it every day, it's outdated. So jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep. That's how it is.
So you have to be a master at your magic. Mm-hmm. And that's the craft that you have to hone and tap into and shine to the world. And don't let anybody, I love what you said about the moment between your rejection and when you decided, because you removed yourself from continuing the rejection, from continuing to get those things that could absorb and then hurt you later on. Exactly. Right? So when you realize you're in a toxic environment and someone's telling you that you're not good enough, you first have to realize it. And then you have to say, okay, this isn't the space for me right now. Right. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. You look around and you figure out your CMO.
Exactly. That's the first. Before you're a CEO, you have to have a CMO, create your own opportunity. Yes. Exactly.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. And this is why I wanted you to be the last of my interviews, because I wanted to make sure that I ended with someone that I feel like everybody can relate to. Wow. They're going to see a little bit of themselves in you. And I really hope that the people who watch this are then empowered to do what we're saying to go out there and do. Kat Dunn, who is Create Your Own, she's a course builder. She teaches people how to build courses. And she's phenomenal. But she goes live when she's having a bad day, when she's, at the plaything with her with her daughter running around in the background, and she's like, put that down. She's so real, and I just love it. But something that she says that resonates with me is the fact that there is somebody hoping, wishing, praying that you're going to share your gift.
Right.
Because they need it. And that's something that I try to think about often. So, well, before we wrap up, is there anything that you'd like to say or share with the audience?
One should invest in your service that helps them create their story. I think every business needs a Jamie before you even get started, because it was knowing my story, helping, Jamie helped me develop that, is what really, really helped me go to the next level. I remember doing my very first Facebook Live, and I got my first client, and I didn't sell a product. All I did was tell my story that Jamie helped me create. It was the story that sold me, that got my first client, just telling my story. I didn't sell anything. All I did was talk about, where I came from, that whole process that Jamie walked me through. So that's what I want to say before I leave. Get you a Jamie.
Oh, Galyn, thank you so much. And I am so blessed to have you in my life. So I do want to tell you thank you, and that, use my truth bomb whenever you need it. But, you can call me and text me too, because you're the shit, and you need to be proud of that. You really need to be proud of that. So tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you, email, website, on what the offer is that you offer.
Okay, well, you can find me. I have a mastermind where I'm teaching you how to position yourself as an expert, find your dream client so you can take your business to 6 figures and beyond. And that is my Entrepreneur to Expert Mastermind. It's going to be live 2-day workshop this August 23rd through the 25th in Orlando, Florida. And I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to have those premium prices, to understand your magic, your superpower, what you're good at, and to position that and package that and price that to the world so you can stand in your power and not in your strength. And you can get more information on that at bit.ly/minority expert.
Wonderful. Galyn, thank you so much again. I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate your wisdom. And your authenticity is just one of the things that I feel like continues to draw me to you, because you're special, and you have magic that is going to light up the world. And I'm going to be on stage one day and being introducing you, because I can see it. I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to introduce you, and I'm going to have that moment that I've seen so many times play out for people who came up together. Mm-hmm. And they have that exchange. I know it's going to happen for you and me, and I can't wait. And I'm just here for you no matter what.
Yes, thank you so much, Jamie, for having me. This was an incredible experience. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Galyn. You have a good day, and thank you guys for joining us. Bye now.